Good evening and thanks for joining me today on 7Edition. I'm Amanda Ko and these are your headlines. Parliament passes repeal of the anti-fake news. Utusan ceases operations after 80 years. And police seek 56 more individuals over Adib's murder probe. Malaysia's oldest Malay newspaper, Utusan Melayu Berhad, ceased operations after 80 years. Its executive chairman, Dato' Abdul Aziz Sheikh Fadzir, said the move is necessary as the daily has been experiencing financial difficulties. In a circular to employees, he said the newspaper company experienced critical business problems after May 2018.
He said the company had taken a variety of measures to put it in a stronger position, including implementing a voluntary separation scheme and disposing of assets to improve cash flow. However, daily circulation of Utusan Malaysia and Cosmo continued to decline, with the newspapers missing the advertising revenue target of 4 million ringgit a month. Workers' salaries were delayed and debts could not be paid on time. The company is now facing a variety of legal actions from creditors. Utusan Melayu's employees' last working day is today, while their final day of service will be on October 31st. Utusan Melayu National Union of Journalists NUJ Chairman Taufik Razak told a press conference all 862 employees received termination letters from the company today.
Setakat ni, walaupun hari ini 9 hari bulan, pihak syarikat bersetuju untuk membayar gaji sehingga 31 Oktober. Jadi bermakna gaji kami sekarang ni tertunggak 2 bulan, bulan September dan bulan Oktober.
A briefing is scheduled to be held for all staff on October 30th. Meanwhile, retrenched Utusan workers may seek assistance from the Employment Insurance System, SIP, under the Social Security Organization, SOCSO. Human Resources Minister M. Kulasegaran said the SIP acts as a social security aimed at helping those who lost their jobs by providing assistance to them.
If the workers are retrenched under the law, they can always make representation to the SIP, System Insurance Pekerjaan, where they can, for 6 months, there'll be some payment of salary starting from 80% the first month. And during that process, SIP will give them, look for alternative employment for them.
Speaking to reporters at the Parliament lobby today, Kulasegaran also suggested that the Utusan management reconsider its decision to cease operations. He said the newspaper company should look into alternative solutions, as the decision would impact the livelihood of its employees.
After 2 days of intense debate in the Dewan Rakyat, the repeal of the Anti-Fake News Bill 2019 was passed by the August House today. A total of 92 lawmakers voted for the abolition of the bill, while 51 lawmakers wanted the bill to remain. Dewan Rakyat Speaker Tan Sri Muhammad Arif Muhammad Yusof called for a block voting at the request of the opposition leader, Datuk Sri Ismail Sabri Yaakob.
The voting was held through a voting process after the earlier voice vote was called off. Tan Sri Muhammad Arif said that the voice note was a tie. Due to that, another manual voting process was needed.
Putusan undian yang bersetuju 92, susut satu mata. Yang tidak bersetuju 51, susut 2 mata.
Mansuh fake news. Sama-sama susut, okey lah tu.
Oleh demikian, lebih undian yang bersetuju.
The bill was first approved in the Dewan Rakyat in August last year, but the Senate had rejected the bill. Under the Constitution, when the Dewan Negara rejects a bill, a cooling period of 1 year takes place. Following the cooling period, if the bill is successfully passed in the lower house of parliament, regardless of the Dewan Negara's decision, the bill will be presented for royal assent.
Moving on, the Transport Ministry today said that a vehicle used for e-hailing is still a personal car and not converted into a commercial vehicle. Now, the assurance came 3 days before the October 12th deadline, requiring all e-hailing drivers to possess the Passenger Service Vehicle PSV license. At today's media conference, its Minister Anthony Look Siu Fook explained that when the driver decides to sell off their car is still stated as a personal car.
The concept of e-hailing is that you can only drive your own car to become an e-hailing driver. So we want to know which car are you driving. So you have to register. That's why you have to register the car number registration to APAT to get the EVP. So once we get that, we know that are you driving that particular car? Same kenderaan persendirian e-hailing. But that would not appear anywhere except our system.
The minister went on to say that in the Road Transport Department RTD's system, a special AH code will be given to e-hailing vehicles which will not appear on vehicle grants. Loke also stressed that the regulated e-hailing industry will be enforced this Saturday as planned. Federal police re-investigating the death of fireman Muhammad Adib Muhammad Qasim want 56 persons of interest to present themselves to police immediately. Bukit Aman CID Director Datuk Huzi Muhammad, who made this call today, said if they fail to do so, police will release their mugshots again. At a media conference, the CID chief said the 56 individuals are from 66 persons of interest required to assist police in the case.
Kami telah siapkan sebanyak 66, kalau tak silap 66 gambar individu. Cuma 10, I think 10 yang respon. Bakinya belum buat sebarang, belum berhubung dengan kami, so kami menyeru supaya mereka tampil untuk berhubung dengan pihak polis.
He noted that police will also call up 2 expert witnesses, Professor Sharum Abdul Wahib and Dr. Amir Radzi Abghani, to record their statements pertaining to the investigation. Both of them were among the 30 witnesses called up to testify during the inquest at the coroner's court. On the speculations that 4 men who were detained earlier were connected to Adib's death, Datuk Huzir clarified that they were not involved. Malaysia is poised to eradicate poverty under the Shared Prosperity Vision SPV 2030 introduced by the Prime Minister. Economic Affairs Minister Datuk Sri Muhammad Azmin Ali said the 10-year vision also promises a better future for the B40 group.
Datuk Sri Azmin said the government's concern is no longer gross domestic product alone, but also poverty and the widening wealth disparities. He said the SPV 2030 will ensure the equitability of outcomes for all Malaysians by placing the prosperity and well-being of its people at the forefront of its development policies.
Dalam kita memburu kecemerlangan industri, Kerajaan Pakatan Harapan tidak akan mengabaikan tanggungjawab untuk membela masyarakat bandar dan desa yang berpendapatan rendah dan miskin. Wawasan ini menjamin bahawa kemakmuran dan kekayaan akan dinikmati oleh mereka.
Datuk Sri Azmin said the SPV 2030 was launched at the perfect time, especially with the uncertain economic climate that is happening globally.
Wawasan ini menyediakan turbo charge untuk memacu pertumbuhan ekonomi yang mampan dan melonjak kepada ekonomi berpendapatan tinggi serta meningkat kuasa beli rakyat. Kerajaan yakin matlamat wawasan ini akan dicapai melalui peningkatan kepelbagaian ekonomi atau greater economic complexity dengan memberi fokus kepada industri berteknologi dan berimpak tinggi seperti aeroangkasa, ekonomi digital dan pertanian berteknologi tinggi.
Launched on October 5th, the SPV 2030 aims to create wealth for the country that would benefit Malaysians from all walks of life. It is also aimed at expanding Malaysia's economic complexity and propel the nation towards high value-added economic activities.
In other news, 8 luxury vehicles worth 2 million ringgit was seized in Ops Lejang Mewah Toda, launched by police last September. 6 men and 2 foreign women aged between 36 to 52 years old, believed to be members of a car theft syndicate, have been detained by Selangor police. Selangor Police Chief Datuk Nur Azam Jamaluddin said police recovered the vehicles comprising of 7 Toyota models and a Honda CR-V in the operation.
Jadi sindiket ini akan menggunakan master key untuk umpil lubang kunci dan dengan menggunakan mesin drill. Jadi dia akan buat lubang kunci kat tempat kunci kenderaan tersebut dengan menggunakan drill dan membuka kenderaan dengan menggunakan alat smart key programmer untuk membuat salinan program komputer box kenderaan yang hendak dicuri ke dalam alat tersebut.
Datuk Nur Azam said all the male suspects have been remanded, while the 2 foreign women have been detained under the Immigration Act. He said this at a press conference at the Selangor Police Headquarters in Shah Alam. In other news, a police officer was among 4 individuals arrested for suspected involvement in extortion in brickfields yesterday. Preliminary investigations showed that the suspects had resorted to tactics used by gangsters to extort money. It is understood that the suspects had demanded for a sum of money to protect a construction site in brickfields. Meanwhile, in Malacca, a convict who fled from the Dusun Datuk Murad Ayer Keroh prison was nabbed last night. The rearrest came less than 24 hours after he fled the prison. The 25-year-old, who worked as a general worker at the Tiara Golf Club in Ayer Keroh, was reported to have fled into the forest behind the golf club at 12:50 p.m. yesterday. Malacca Tengah District Police Chief Assistant Commissioner Afzanizar Ahmad said the prisoner from Tanjung Agaz Muar worked there under the prison skills outreach program between the prison and the Tiara Golf Club. He's currently serving a 5-year prison sentence under the Penal Code for causing death without intent. The man's jail term for this offence was to end this Friday. Coming up, Turkey prepares long-threatened military shelling in northeast Syria. Details next.
We hope the government should think of creating more jobs for nation. Try to take the initiative to reduce the price of the houses.
I would like the government to see more into the education, especially of the present education system. And I would like to stress more on skills for the students.
Saya harap pihak kerajaan memberi lebih perhatian atau ambil berat dan tambah perbaikan dari segi pendidikan anak-anak. Sebagai ketua keluarga, sebagai bapa kepada anak-anak, saya harap sebagai ibu bapa yang bertugas, kalau boleh tambahkanlah apa tu dia panggil dana untuk pendidikan anak-anak.
It's time again for the federal budget. But how will it affect you? Who are the winners and losers?
Will the government fulfill our aspirations and deliver our expectations? How far will our money be stretched for social and economic spending?
Make a date with 7Edition this October 11.
For insights from experts on Budget 2020.
Only on NTV7.
Welcome back. Turkish forces and Syrian rebel allies will cross the Syrian border shortly, according to President Recep Tayyip Erdogan's communications director, Fahrettin Altun. This as Turkey looks to begin a military intervention against Kurdish-led forces in northeast Syria. Turkey has been poised to advance into northeast Syria since U.S. troops have begun vacating the area on Sunday, in an abrupt policy shift by U.S. President Donald Trump that was widely criticized in Washington as a betrayal of U.S.'s allies, the Kurds. Altun said Turkey has no ambition in northeastern Syria except to neutralize a long-standing threat against Turkish citizens and to liberate the local population from the yoke of armed thugs. The Turkish military was expected to team up with the rebel Free Syrian Army, FSA, with which it worked previously in 2 other operations in northern Syria in recent years. A Californian utility announced it will shut off power to more than 800,000 customers in an effort to prevent new wildfires, in the largest preventive outage in state history, with windy, dry weather in the forecast and warnings of extreme fire danger. Now, Pacific Gas and Electric, PG&E utility, said it will start turning off power to 34 countries in northern and central California after midnight Wednesday. PG&E added that it may take several days to fully restore power. Separately, the Southern California Edison utility website said more than 106,000 of its customers in parts of 8 counties could face power cuts. The affected regions include an area of wine country north of San Francisco where several fires 2 years ago killed 22 people and destroyed thousands of homes. The outages will also affect portions of the agricultural Central Valley, the state's northern and central coast, and the Sierra Nevada foothills, where a November wildfire blamed on PG&E transmission lines killed 85 people and devastated the town of Paradise. San Francisco is the only county in the 9-county San Francisco Bay Area where power will not be affected. Now let's hop on to Clickbait, where we take a look at what's trending and making the rounds in the cyber world today. Now, we've heard of many incidents where snatch thieves steal the handbags of careless women who left them unattended while enjoying their meal. Now, those who are extra careful often place their bags on their laps to keep them safe. But apparently, this protection measure is safe no more. On Sunday, a woman who was stunned as her handbag was snatched from her lap while she was enjoying a meal with her 2 male friends at the outdoor section of a restaurant. Now, this allegedly took place in Kuala Lumpur. Take a look. A CCTV footage of the incident went viral on Facebook since its upload on Monday, raking in over 100,000 views. It was a good evening, cut short for these 3 friends, when the snatch thief, clad in an all-black attire while pretending to be on the phone, steps into the premises, pacing back and forth, presumably calculating his next move. He strikes! Ladies and men too, stay safe, stay vigilant. We'll take a short break, but when we come back, unacceptable levels of probable cancer-causing impurities found in Zantac. Stay tuned. GlaxoSmithKline, GSK, on Tuesday recalled the popular heartburn medicine Zantac in all markets as a precaution. Now, this measure takes place days after the U.S. Food and Drug Administration found unacceptable levels of probable cancer-causing impurities in the drug. Now, Zantac, also sold generically as ranitidine, is the latest drug in which cancer-causing impurities have been found. Now, Britain's medicines watchdog said GSK was recalling 4 prescription-only Zantac medicines, a syrup, an injection, and tablets of 150 and 300 milligram dosages. It added that the over-the-counter 75 milligram dosage Zantac products produced by different companies are not affected by the recall. Now, the Medicines and Healthcare Products Regulatory Agency said healthcare professionals were told on Monday to stop supplying the products immediately, quarantine all remaining stock and return it to their suppliers. Bursa Malaysia ended the day weaker, having sank to a new 4-year low in the afternoon. According to a dealer, this as the US-China trade dispute worsened and created a ripple effect across markets around the globe. Now, the benchmark FBMKLCI trimmed 7.56 points to 1,551.23. Now, on to stocks to watch. Bajaya Food Holding Berhad's profitability will continue to be driven by the opening of 25 to 30 new Starbucks outlets annually. The firm is also closing its Kenny Rogers Roasters unprofitable large format stores and opening smaller format outlets instead. Next, Dayang Enterprise Holdings Berhad is expected to record stronger quarterly earnings ahead on increased work orders and higher vessel utilization. Now, the company will likely see more upside from current levels despite the strong share price's performance in recent weeks. And last but not least, MSM Malaysia Holdings Berhad may likely remain in a loss-making position due to lower average selling price of refined sugars and higher operating cost. While the firm's disposal of non-core assets could improve the cash position slightly, it is still far from partially offsetting the higher borrowing cost. When I mention construction materials like cement, bricks, and paint, lifestyle isn't the first thing that comes to your mind, right? However, Nippon Paint Malaysia has done exactly that, turning painting your home into a lifestyle choice now. We spoke to their Group General Manager, Gladys Goh, on how their insights on women helped them turn into a market leader in home painting.
Painting used to be an industrial material that not many wanted to think about until Nippon Paint had 2 insights: bring colors in and making it a lifestyle choice. And women were the ones who made most of the decisions when it came to picking the right colors.
And we also shifted a lot of communication to women because men find it very daunting. Men find that, if you're going to paint, there seems to be a lot of work plus a big budget. But when the wife or the women want to paint, they can't say no. And women are, so much more interested in colors, home improvement. They are more open to that.
Remember how painting used to smell really bad until odorless paint was invented? When that barrier was removed, more people started to paint, and it led to the creation of more consumer-friendly products.
Life, right? Because I have kids, so I really understand paint smell is bad. How about antibacterial, antivirus? How about things that you can't control, like formaldehyde in the air? So we start developing a lot of these innovations that allow people to paint and deliver additional benefit to them, plus colors to really perk up the whole house.
When Goh isn't managing 5,000 employees in Malaysia, she spends time being a mother to her kids.
Right. So for me, work-life balance has been very efficient. Have a very proper planning of your scheduling so that you can still complete and achieve a lot within a day. And by the way, I also believe in exercising as well, keeping yourself healthy. So I do take the time to, make sure that I exercise 2 to 3 times a week. So for me, work-life balance is really having very efficient planning, spending equal time in different roles that you are in.
Besides paint, consumers now have other choices of materials like wallpapers and tiles to choose from when decorating and designing their homes. Therefore, to keep consumers choosing paint as their main choice proves quite a challenge.
We got to look at all this digital disruption, yeah? And we cannot stay silent in this. We have to really look at how we can use digital disruption to make it even more convenient for people to use our products, especially this category, which is a very low involvement, where you don't purchase paint all the time. So how do you simplify it? And whenever a homeowner who really wants to paint their home, how can we give them a one-stop solution, you know? So be it from the color selection, who do I use to paint, what products to use, what problem I need to solve, you know? So we really need to look at how we can use all these available digital technologies for us to make people's life more simple.
Nippon Paint shows that with the right insight, one can turn even an industrial item like paint into something we can have sentimental attachments to.
I'm Amanako. Thank you for tuning in and have a good night.